are going to discuss the nasopulmonary drug delivery system. So this is a disclaimer for the viewers. In this session, we are going to discuss factors affecting nasal absorption. There are so many factors are there which are going to affect the nasal absorption. These are divided into the nasal physiological factors, physicochemical properties of drug, and effect of formulation. In the case of nasal physiological factors, we are going to discuss blood flow, mucociliary clearance, enzymatic degradation, transporters, and efflux systems. In the case of physicochemical properties of drug, we are going to discuss the molecular weight, lipophilicity, pK, stability, and solubility. And in the case of effect of formulation, we are going to discuss viscosity, pH, pharmaceutical form, pharmaceutical excipients, and the dosage form. So let us see one by one each factor and how it is going to affect the nasal absorption. Very first one, that is a blood flow. Nasal mucosa is richly supplied with the blood and presents a large surface area, making it an optimal local for drug absorption. The blood flow rate influences significantly the systemic nasal absorption of drug. Vasodilation and vasoconstriction may determine the blood flow and consequently the rate and extent of drug to be absorbed. If there is a vasodilation or vasoconstriction, blood flow towards the nasal tract, it is going to be altered, and thereby the absorption of a drug, it is going to be affected. Vasoconstriction decreases nasal drug absorption by diminishing the blood flow. For example, phenylephrine. Nasal blood flow, it is affected by the temperature, humidity, smoke, vasomotor illness, common cold, stress, fear, and anxiety. So these are the few factors which are going to affect the nasal blood flow, and thereby it affects the absorption of a drug from the nasal cavity. So let us see the mucociliary clearance, that is MCC. It is one of the important factor which is going to affect the nasal absorption of a drug. So it is the self-clearing mechanism of the bronchi. Nasal mucus layer plays an important role in the defense of respiratory tract because it prevents the lung from the foreign substances, pathogens, and particles carried by inhaled air. These agents, that is the foreign particles, pathogens, or particles, adhere to the mucus layer, and all together they are transported to the nasopharynx and eventually to the gastrointestinal tract. This elimination is designated as MCC, that is a mucociliary clearance, and it influences significantly the nasal drug absorption. So along with the mucus, the formulation, it is going to be reached into the gastrointestinal tract due to the mucociliary clearance. So mucociliary clearance is a conveyor belt wherein cilia provide the driving force. As already we have seen in the nasal anatomy and physiology, cilia are present. So cilia provide the driving force, whereas mucus acts as a sticky fluid that collects and disposes foreign particles. The efficiency of mucociliary clearance thereby depend on the length, density, and beat frequency of cilia, as so as the amount and viscoelastic properties of the mucus. So the efficiency of mucociliary clearance, it is depend on the length, density, and beat frequency of cilia. along with the amount and viscoelastic properties of the mucus. Briefly, all factors that increases the mucus production, decrease the mucus viscosity, or increase ciliary bead frequency may increase the mucociliary clearance. So mucus, it is transported at the rate of 5 mm per minute, and its transit time in human nasal cavity, it is approximately 15 to 20 minutes. If mucociliary clearance decreases, residence time of the drug product in nasal mucosa increase and therefore enhances the drug permeation. If MCC increases, premature discharge of nasally administered drug from nasal cavity towards the nasopharynx occurs and decreasing the amount of drug absorption from the nasal cavity. A drug deposited in a posterior area of the nose is cleared more rapidly from the nasal cavity than a drug deposited anteriorly, because MCC is slower in the anterior part of the nose than in the more ciliated posterior part. So the posterior part of nasal cavity, it is ciliated, while the anterior part of the nasal cavity, it is a non-ciliated. So whatever the formulation, if it reaches to the posterior part, it is being cleared easily by the mucociliary clearance. Polar drugs are highly soluble in the mucus. As you know that mucus, it is a hydrophilic in nature, and the polar drugs which are more soluble in the mucus and their passage across the membrane is very slow. The temperature and sulfur dioxide seems to cause a significant reduction in the mucociliary clearance. So these are the few factors which are going to affect the mucociliary clearance. Cigarette smoking decreases the mucociliary clearance as it enhances the viscosity of the mucus and or diminish the number of cilia. The components of drug formulation may also alter the mucociliary clearance system, such as preservatives and nasal absorption enhancers. Menstrual cycle and circadian rhythm also affects the MCC, that is the mucociliary clearance. Look at the table. Here certain I have listed the pathological conditions and the mucociliary clearance. So very first one, that is a primary ciliary dyskinesia. There is a mucociliary clearance. It is impaired due to absence or dyskinetic beating cilia. In the case of asthma, mucociliary clearance increased as well as decreased, increased due to inflammatory process and irritation, and decreased due to epithelial damage. In the case of cystic fibrosis, mucociliary clearance impaired due to dehydration of mucus. In the case of viral and bacterial infection, mucociliary clearance, it is compromised, loss of cilia and change of mucus properties. In the case of diabetes mellitus, mucociliary clearance impaired due to dehydration and microvascular damage. So this is about the mucociliary clearance. Let us see the enzymatic degradation. The drug which is given by the nasal route or nasal cavity, it is being degraded by the various enzymes like carboxyl esterase, aldehyde dehydrogenase, epoxide hydrolase, and glutathione S transferase present in the nasal epithelial cells and are responsible for the degradation of drug in the nasal mucosa. Cytochrome P450 isoenzyme metabolizes drugs such as cocaine, nicotine, alcohols, progesterone, and certain decongestants. Proteolytic enzymes also present in the nasal cavity, like aminopeptidase and protease, to be the major barrier against the absorption of peptide drugs such as calcitonin, insulin, and desmopressin. Fast metabolism is weaker than the hepatic and the intestinal, but the nasal enzymatic degradation needs to be considered while designing and development of the nasal drug delivery system, as there are so many types of the enzymes which are present in the nasal cavity, like a carboxylestrase, aldehyde dehydrogenase, epoxide hydrolase, glutathione S transferase, then cytochrome P450 isoenzymes, and the proteolytic enzymes. Let us see the transporters and efflux systems. In the case of transporters and efflux systems, the multi-drug resistant transporters present in the human nasal respiratory and olfactory mucosa, which may be involved in the transport of the wide variety of hydrophobic and amphiphilic drugs. PGP is an efflux transporter that exists in the apical area of ciliated epithelial cells and in the submucosal vessel of the human olfactory region. PGP has an important role in preventing actively the influx of drug from nasal membrane. So this is about the transporters and efflux system. Let us see the molecular weight, lipophilicity, and the PK of the drug. Lipophilic drugs are well absorbed from the nasal cavity, and the bioavailability of the nasally administered drug, it is about 100%. They are quickly and efficiently absorbed across the nasal membrane through the transcellular mechanism. So drug should have the sufficient lipophilicity so as to the drug it is going to be absorbed from the nasal cavity. Nasal absorption of a lipophilic drug molecular weight bigger than 1 kilodalton is significantly reduced or decreased. The polar drugs with a molecular weight of less than 300 Dalton is absorbed well. If polar drug it is having a molecular weight greater than 300 Dalton, the absorption it is going to be decreased. The nasal membrane is predominantly lipophilic, and hence drug absorption is expected to decrease with a decrease in a lipophilicity. Polar drugs are not easily transported across nasal membrane due to the mucociliary clearance, as it is going to be dissolved into the mucosa, that is a mucus. If lipophilicity is too high, the drug does not dissolve easily. Suppose that the drug is having a highly lipophilic in nature. So such drugs are not going to be dissolved easily in the aqueous environment of nasal cavity, and hence with a accelerated mucociliary clearance, the contact time with the nasal membrane diminishes, resulting in a reduced permeation through the wall. In general, the passage across biomembranes is affected not only by lipophilicity or hydrophilicity, but also by the amount of drug existing as an uncharged species. How much amount of drug it is present in the unionized form, that is very important. Nasal permeation, it is also depend on the drug PK, dissociation constant, and the pH of the absorption site, which is approximately 5 to 6.5. The non-ionized fraction of a drug is more permeable than that the ionized one. Nasal absorption of weak electrolytes depends on their ionization degree, and the largest absorption occurs for the non-ionized species, which is best explained by the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. In this state, they present a higher apparent partition coefficient, and thus they are more lipophilic and absorb well. For polar drugs, partition coefficient is the major factor influencing the permeability through the nasal mucosa. So this is about the molecular weight, lipophilicity, and the pK of the drug. Let us see the stability. Environment of nasal cavity has the ability to metabolize the drug. Already we have seen the enzymatic degradation by defensive enzymatic mechanism, which may reduce the biological stability of nasally administered drug. To overcome this difficulty, a variety of strategies may be followed, mainly through the use of prodrugs and the enzyme inhibitors or enzymatic inhibitors. On other hand, many drugs may be physicochemically unstable due to the hydrolysis, oxidation, isomerization, photochemical decomposition, or polymerization reaction. So we have to suppose to consider the stability of the drug while designing the nasal drug delivery systems. Let us move. Solubility of the drug. Solubility of the drug in the nasal mucus, it is very important. Before nasal absorption, the drug must be dissolved in the watery fluids of the nasal cavity, that is the mucus. Appropriate aqueous drug solubility is required to allow enough contact with the nasal mucosa and posterior absorption. Absorption profile is influenced not only by drug solubility but also by the nature of pharmaceutical preparation. Which type of pharmaceutical preparation we are preparing? For example, powders, sprays, solutions, suspension, emulsions. Due to small size of nasal cavity, the allowable volume of drug solution is low. Approximately each nostril 200 microliter for intranasal drug administration. The drugs poorly soluble in water requiring high doses. So this is about the solubility of drug. Like lipophilicity, the drug should have the sufficient solubility, sufficient hydrophilicity. The viscosity of the formulation. As formulation viscosity increases, the contact time between the drug and the nasal mucosa enhances, and thereby the potential of drug absorption increases. So as we are increasing the viscosity of the formulation, nasal formulation, the contact time between the formulation and the nasal mucosa increases, and thereby increases the nasal absorption. At the same time, high viscosity of formulation interferes with a normal ciliary beating and or mucociliary clearance, and thus increases the permeability of drug. Alternatively, increase in viscosity reduces the diffusion of a drug from the formulation and reduces the nasal permeation. So this is about the viscosity of the formulation. Let us see the pH of formulation. The extent of nasal absorption depends on the pK of the drug. Already we have seen pH at absorption site and pH of the formulation. The pH of formulation must be selected attending to drug stability, that is very important, and if possible should be assured the greatest quantity of non-ionized drug species in the formulation at a specific pH. However, the pH of formulation can induce nasal mucosa irritation, and hence it should be similar to that found on the human nasal mucosa, that is 5 to 6.5. So whatever the formulation pH is there, it should be ranging between 5 to 6.5 in order to reduce the nasal mucosal irritation. Let us move towards the pharmaceutical dosage form. Very first one, that is the nasal drops. The exact amount of drug delivered is not easily quantified when the nasal drops are used and often result in a overdose. Moreover, rapid nasal drainage can occur when using this type of dosage form. Solution and suspension sprays are preferred over powder sprays due to the nasal mucosal irritation. So powders formulation shows the nasal irritation. Gel devices or gel formulation reduces post-nasal drip and anterior leakage. Fixing the drug formulation in the nasal mucosa, this enhances the drug residence time and diminishes the mucociliary clearance, thereby potentially increases the nasal absorption. Nasal powders, in some cases it is not possible to develop the liquid formulation, isn't it, due to lack of drug stability. In such cases, the nasal powders are developed. Nasal powder dosage forms are without preservatives and shows superior drug stability. However, the suitability of the powder formulation is dependent on the solubility of a drug, then the particle size, aerodynamic properties, and nasal irritancy of the active drug and or the excipients. Local application of drug is another advantage of this system, but nasal mucosa irritancy and meter dose delivery are some of the challenges for formulation scientists and the device manufacturers. There are yet some other formulations are also there which can enhance the nasal permeation, like lipid emulsions, microspheres, liposomes, and the nasal films. Let us see the physical factors. The nasal passage can be compromised due to the trauma and injury, with a deleterious effect on the drug transport and the absorption. Under certain atmospheric or pathological condition, the nose may bleed or it becomes too dry. So in such cases, the nasal absorption it is going to be altered. The patient conditions such as stuffy or a runny nose or presence of nasal polyps can affect the clearance from the nose and hence the drug absorption. So this is about the physical factors. Let us see the limited nasal volume. This is yet another challenge in front of the formulation scientists. The human nasal cavity retains approximately less than 200 microliters of the volume per nostril, and excess volume drains into the esophagus or leaks out. If the required dose of a nasally administered drug is very high, then concentrated solutions are mandatory. This requirement is challenging for the hydrophobic molecules as these have limited aqueous solubility. So suitable strategies must be adopted to enhance the solubility by using the beta cyclodextrins or certain other strategies to improve the solubility of the drug. Osmolarity. The osmolarity of the formulation, it should be between 285 to 310 for nasal drug delivery to avoid the nasal mucosal irritation. The isotonic solution with the osmolarity of the 308 are preferred for safe and effective drug administration. So we have discussed the various factors affecting to nasal absorption. Let us summarize all these factors. So very first one as physiological barriers, then physicochemical barriers and formulation factors. So these three important things are that which are responsible for the absorption of a drug through the nasal cavity. In the case of physiological barrier, that is the nasal mucus, nasal epithelial barrier, mucociliary clearance, pathophysiology, nasal metabolism, and efflux transporter system. In the case of physicochemical barriers like drug solubility and dissolution, molecular weight and size, then the drug lipophilicity and pH and pK. And in the case of formulation factors like drug concentration, dose and volume, then osmolarity and site of deposition. So let us see one by one. So very first one, that is the nasal mucus. In the case of nasal mucus, we have to suppose to consider the viscosity of the nasal mucosa, then the pH of the mucus, then the drug dosage form, and mucus interaction. So these are the three important things we have to suppose to consider related with the nasal mucus. Then nasal epithelial barrier. In the case of nasal epithelial barrier, the drug property like molecular weight of a drug, it should be considered, then the ionization constant for the drug, and the mode of transport, how the drug it is going to be absorbed from the nasal cavity through this barrier. Then mucociliary clearance, that is a nasal residence time, which is going to decide the nasal residence time and the nature of dosage form, which type of dosage form we are using for the nasal cavity, whether it is in a liquid form, whether it is in the spray form, whether it is in a powder form, whether it is in a gel form, or whether it is in a microspheres. Then pathophysiology, that is related with the volume of nasal secretion and permeability of the epithelium should be considered. In the case of nasal metabolism, that is the nature of the molecules, for example, proteins and peptides. Efflux transport system, that is the nature of drug molecule and the duration of therapy. In the case of physicochemical barriers, very first one, drug solubility and dissolution. So in this case, we have to suppose to consider nature of dosage form, then the dose, PK of the drug, and the polymorphism. Then molecular weight and size, less viability with a molecular weight more than 1000 Dalton. Then compound lipophilicity, which is going to affect the nose to blood and nose to brain absorption. Then pH and pK, unionized pH favors for the absorption. Formulation factors like a drug concentration, dose, and volume. That is high concentration for better viability, maximum dose in a minimum vehicle. That is, as we know that each nostril, it is possible to instill only the 200 microliter. Osmolarity, isotonic solution prevents the epithelial damage and the toxicity. So whatever the preparations which are prepared, it should be the have sufficient osmolarity. And site of deposition. Site of deposition based on viscosity, position of head, then the volume, which type of delivery device, then deposition at an anterior chamber, which prolongs the nasal residence time as it is a non-ciliated. So these are the various nasal barriers, and these are the various factors which needs to be considered while designing and development of the nasal drug delivery system. So herewith we have finished the factors affecting to nasal absorption.